you ready?
I'm ready.
Are we on?
We're on.
71.
What do you need plywood for?
It's March 28th, 418. Because, I was going to re-steel all the walls in the garage. But I'm going to try, just because it's a lot of work, taking them down. There's really no studs in there. They're overlapped and the steel is screwed to the steel. Because the original owner of the building, when they put the machine shop in here, insurance made them put steel up for fire protection.
Right.
But there's no real structure inside there. So I'm going to leave the steel up, I think. What I'm doing with the 4x8 sheets of plywood is I'm going to wrap them in multicam black Cordura.
Yeah, that'll be
and
kind
then
of cool.
Screw those to the wall. Hopefully, all it's going to take is like 4 screws per sheet because it's just, holding it to the wall, right? So that's what but I need wood chips for the rats. I'm producing so many fucking rats, I'm going to go ahead and I know I'm going to fucking regret this.
Release them into the wild so we have some sort of population
No.
scenario where we have to breed
definitely,
cats to get rid of
definitely
them?
not that because it wouldn't take shit to scale the rats up at all. I'm gonna put a thing on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist.
Come get some rats?
Yeah, so I'm fucking because like dudes right now, guys are running. I mean, I'm sure there's a little pet shop around here or whatever, but I know there's a bunch of dudes with boas and fucking stuff, and they're driving all the way to Dixon to Petco. And paying so freezer mice now, like you see when we get mice, we get $1,000 a rat. It's fucking a huge box. They have, it looks like the pies from McDonald's. They come in like the tear top box. That's how freezer mice come. They come in a nice little box and shit. They have a whole cooler of freezer mice at Petco.
And I bet they're real expensive.
$5 a piece.
Yeah.
So. That's what because we're already producing them. Like I had so many rats yesterday, I went through and killed off 50 of them.
If you're going to put something in Facebook Marketplace, your best bet really would be to go to Walmart first and get a burner phone, and attach the burner phone to the Walmart Marketplace. So next year you don't have all these people calling you about, hey man, what about them rats from you?
I wasn't going to let them call. I was just going to do it. Yeah, that's not a bad point though. I was just going to say, okay, on Wednesday at 6 o'clock, fucking we'll do a rat delivery at the Walmart parking lot.
That might work too. Just do a rat delivery at the Walmart parking lot, show up.
And since we're going to Nashville all the time anyways, I might just see if the pet shops want a delivery of fucking rats.
Fresh rats?
Yeah. I don't know whether I'm going to fuck with it or not.
Do they do that?
Yeah.
Not like take a delivery, but does Petco feed?
No. Pet shops.
Pet shops. I was gonna
Reptile
say
shops. Pet shops. Local dudes in Nashville. Hey, I'm going to be at the fucking Target parking lot at 10 a.m. Saturday morning.
Gotcha.
Whatever. The problem with that is people are such fucking flakes. So if I'm driving in with a fucking boxes full of live rats and they don't show up, I now have a fucking car full of fucking live rats. What the fuck do I do with them?
Release them into the wild.
Flush them down the toilet at Target one by one.
To create some sort of cat monopoly.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that's what we should do. We'll just go find the wild cats. We'll go find the feral cats, and we will video feeding that. We'll just release one rat and watch. Because the fucking feral cats are just bam!
Rambles.
That'd be a good fucking video. I'll bet somehow that would be a federal crime. Feeding wild cats, live rats.
Introduction
of non-indigenous species.
Yeah, non-indigenous species. That's what it would be. Non-indigenous species.
Crazy. All right. Well, how was your day?
Good.
What did you do today? I don't even know what the fuck I've done.
A little suntan. I got a little suntan outside. It's nice to get a little sun every now and then.
I really thought we were going to eat the sandwich. Like
some picnic. We did a little picnic today.
I feel like he's trying to sneak the sandwich home. He's fed me everything but the sandwich.
I feel like the sandwich has been in there since before they went on vacation.
No, I watched him make it.
Because
I watched him make it.
You specifically came in after they went on vacation and went, where did that sandwich come from?
That's not that sandwich.
New sandwich? You sure?
I watched him make it. I thought, that motherfucker has a whole baguette there. He's going to try. We're having French toast. And I'm not supposed to be having French toast. No. Like, he came in with cookies. I'm like, you have to fucking take the cookies home with you. They can't be here.
I've already had 2.
I won't stand there and eat them in front of it, but if I go in the kitchen tonight and I will go look for them. Mm-hmm. Even though I could watch him take them out, and I'll be like, I'll bet there's another thing of cookies here. So that's my... So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to take off here and head over there with a trailer. Oshkosh is one contractor who builds LMTVs. Don't know if other manufacturers are contracted to build them or not. On the Unimog topic, number 64, I was familiar with Unimogs and seen plenty, but what I'd never seen before was a tractor model. Then 2 weeks later, y'all are talking about one. Man, Google is really getting good with this aimed advertising. I'm not part of the fast life anymore. Had my license suspended 3 times now. Can't afford another revocation. Laugh
well,
out
you
loud.
can't get in the fast life with a Unimog. Top speed on that bear is 45 miles an
Yeah,
hour.
they're pulling you over for underspeed.
Yeah.
Obstruction, hazard.
Top speed is 4. All right, sorry. That particular vehicle, top speed is 50 miles an hour. But with the implement on the front, they say do not go over 40 miles an hour because the center of gravity is all fucked up on those trucks, and they'll just plop off onto the side.
I want a Mickey Mouse gas mask. It has to be the coolest damn thing I've ever seen. Rob, I'm not sure what you're calling a Mickey Mouse gas mask, but there are tons of them out there that look like that. Get on Amazon, just put in gas mask. You'll find a ton of them from other countries, and same on eBay. A ton of them come out of Latvia, Russia, different areas like that. You can buy them right off eBay, but you will also find that for a little bit more money, you can find one already in the States for sale, an importer, and not have to wait the time to get them. But they're out there, man. You should pay $15-$20 for it. It's what it should cost.
And if you're buying an old fucking gas mask, like a World War I gas mask, especially World War I, I think it is even so with World War II gas masks.
Anything pre 62.
Don't be just fucking dropping that thing on your face and sucking your air through that filter.
It's asbestos.
Because they have asbestos in those filters, and asbestos gets in your lungs. It creates a fucking tumor, and then you end up dying.
Not only that, like your really old gas masks, most of them were issued in a aluminum can. Most of them are rolled up inside, so when you take them out, they've kind of held that shape over the years, and the rubber's dry rotted and shit. So just be aware of that. Feds usurped authority over state, which is in direct conflict with the Constitution, 10th Amendment. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution nor prohibited to it by the state are reserved for the state, respectively, or to the people. Okay.
Not when it comes to intercommerce, bro. So the feds can do whatever they want.
I don't know what that was even in regards to.
Probably when we were talking about making machine guns in Kansas.
Oh.
I think Kansas said you can do whatever you want now.
I'm all about it.
I'm all about
sleep
it,
in
but-
the alley, make all the machine guns you want. Don't bring them here.
Yeah, don't bring them here. Don't offer them because I'm going to tell you you're making a big mistake.
Yeah, and then by telling you know that here's something you might or might not know. Conspiracy. Let's say you made your machine gun right illegally, and you came here and told us and said, "I made this," and we're like, "Isn't that illegal?" Well, yeah, but fuck them. You know that by us not reporting you, we are in fact committing a crime. So don't fucking tell us any shit like that.
And you shouldn't really be telling anybody if you're doing that stuff anyways, dummies.
Fuck no. If I can remember right, they terrorize children so their bodies start pumping adrenochrome,
Yep.
which is adrenaline, I think. Then the elites drink the blood and get high off it. Yes,
That's
they
right.
actually skin the kids alive. They literally skin them and cut the first layers of skin off and peel their skin off, is what a lot of the videos were saying. Hey guys. It's your West Virginia commenter again. John is definitely on target with the shaking of the pill bottles. Laugh out loud. I know it's everywhere. I saw signs of it in Tennessee too. Yeah, we have signs like if you have surgery, don't take pills, you'll become a heroin addict. I mean, that's basically like what it says. If you don't buckle up, tomorrow you'll be on heroin. Like shit, like it's fucking crazy.
My first doctor here, when I walked into his doctor's office, like on the door, it's like we will not issue any pills for pain. And then that's on the door. And then I go in, and he's like, I'm sitting in the waiting room. We will not issue pills for pain. And then I go into his office, and this is the first time he's seen me. This is like the first doctor I got in Tennessee. I sit in there, and he's like, what's wrong with give me some background history. And so I tell him some background history, and he immediately stops me and he goes, I don't issue out any pills for pain. I go, I don't remember asking you for pills for pain. That's not the point. I need a doctor. I'm a diabetic. But that was that was his fucking no pills for pain, which means that every person that came in that fucking office must have been asking for pills for pain.
Oh, I'm sure, man. I'm sure. I grew up like you guys. I'd throw some 1956 web gear and an Alice pack and spend days in the woods drinking from a stream and learning survival skills. I think it helped me build character. Do you guys think it helped shape you or shaped who you are today in some way? Yeah, 100%.
Definitely did. Yeah, man. Definitely did. I did everything. Everything that you could possibly do military-wise, and some of the stuff we did in high school was actually harder than what I ever did in the military. It's kind of crazy. Because we just thought, we were like, oh, gas masks? We can put gas masks on and walk 10 miles, because that's what they would do in the military. And then we fucking went and did it. And then to get in the military and, you run around a little bit, but ain't nobody going 10 miles.
Interested to hear your words of encouragement and advice from my little bro Tomcat, who I'm very proud of. Here's the situation. He avoided the student debt trap. After a bit too much video gaming, he starts working midnights, 6 nights a week, baking for the famous Canadian coffee chain Tim Hortons. I know,
Tim Horton, big money.
Yeah, I know, fucking, what's his name, likes Tim Hortons.
Damn Canadians.
Small town, just like Camden. He is indispensable because they can't find consistent people for that shift. I guess no one considered all the workers run on Timmy Ho's coffee in the morning. And that's why I told him what you do serves the best people our country and community have. He has stacked 2 years of cash, is living with mom, who can use the extra help, no car yet. Work is just down the street, has a PC Pro gamers would be jealous of, that he built himself with zero experience, has a little crew he grew up with, but I think would find being more social very rewarding. Like Minnie, he handles work, the little things like getting his room in order, exercise, daily chores, personal relationship, don't get the attention they require from him to stay ahead of the daily stress. Learn and plan his bright future. I'm not a good role model in terms of work ethic, which is why I check John's Instagram in the mornings so his words can help carry the day, and I'm asking what you guys have to say. You didn't give us much to fucking work with here, dude. How old is he?
Sounds like he's doing good.
Sounds like he's doing better than you are.
Sounds like he's doing good. Nothing wrong with any of that.
Yeah, just fucking do a little more of it. He's doing the right fucking things. He's working. He's ahead of fucking.
He's working. 50%
he's
of the population. Cleaning his room and he's exercising. He's doing better than most of his gamer friends.
Yeah, cut the gaming down. Go get some pussy. As soon as he gets some pussy, that'll fucking change a little bit.
He won't have any money anymore.
He won't have any money. I heard 4 years in the O3 field is equivalent to 10 years of wear and tear on your body. Skully, can you feel the difference, or just getting older, or do you think the Marine Corps actually took years off your life?
Oh man, you're silly to not think that the Marine Corps doesn't. I don't want to say the Marine Corps. Military service in general. Military service in general takes years and years off your life. They don't. I know it's a little bit different.
A bunch of World War II vets walking around 100 years old.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that. That doesn't mean they
So
haven't
should
been.
they have lived?
That doesn't mean they haven't been walking around for 60 years like this.
Gotcha.
Here's the thing: if you're in any of the combat MOSs, guaranteed, no matter what you think at 18 years old, by the time you were fucking 25, you're gonna have knee issues. The military doesn't read its own books. Reality of combat is you're only supposed to carry 35 pounds. I don't think I ever carried just 35 pounds. But the weight requirements for the regular infantry soldier has been going up at a fucking extraordinary level. And it's because the people that make the decisions for that stuff don't ever have to wear that stuff.
Dude, we heard recon guys over 100 pounds.
Oh,
fucking 2-3 radios and shit.
80,
and that's before water and bullets.
just in your PPE, you're at 80 pounds.
Yeah.
So, that's just going up, 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 up. And they don't consider any of the, they just don't consider it. They're just like, whatever, those guys can carry it. So, yeah, it does definitely take years off your life. And the Marine Corps, maybe not so much now, but when I grew up in the Marine Corps, if you went to the dock, you're a fucking pussy. Well, so, if you can look at, I guarantee if you look at medical records from guys that joined in the 90s and got out in the 2000s versus the 2000 guys and up, you're going to see a lot more entries in the older, in the newer guys' books than you did in the old days, because you just didn't. And the reality is, if I look back and if I do a real evaluation of what we had, I'll say that they didn't really have anything for you anyways. It wasn't like, in the 90s, it wasn't like guys were going in and getting knee surgeries. It wasn't like guys were going in and getting fixed. The only thing that the military had at that time was fucking Motrin. That's it. You got Motrin for everything. And if you got fucked up, like if you really got fucked up, the solution was, see you later. You're just out of the military. You get medically retired or whatever. Where now they're keeping guys that are, there's fucking MARSOC guys that are running around W amputees in Afghanistan. So, does it take a toll on your body? Of course it does, because of just the way you operate. But what are you going to do? I mean, I would like to see something that they're not talking about. I know a lot of guys that are getting out of the service that are type 2 diabetics when they get out. And in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I don't have any medical facts to back it up, but for the last 16 years, we have been eating nothing but fucking carbs. All MREs are just high volume carbs. And the military has just been force feeding all these guys high carbs through MREs and T-RATs. And then you're coming home and you're getting out, and 6 months later you have diabetes. I wonder if there's a correlation to MREs and carbs.
Good evening, men. Keep it up. Really enjoying the podcast. Skully, as a fellow left-handed shooter and being right-eye dominant, I've always had a small issue with picking up my sights and target quickly. Say from concealed in this is this common? Am I just a retard? Dude, why can't you just spell retard? Rawtard.
Oh, right.
Is training or lack thereof on my part the problem? Could you give me some pointers or some advice on this? Thanks again. Have a great day.
Yeah, stop being right-eye dominant. You're shooting left-handed.
Go take some courses, man.
The guy you should watch is Larry Vickers. Larry Vickers is actually left-handed. I believe that's right. Larry Vickers is left-handed but right-eye dominant. So he fires his rifle left-handed. When he's firing his rifle, he fires it left-handed. But when he fires his pistol, because he's right-eye dominant, he fires it right-handed. Which, in gear sit-up, that would be fucking awesome. Because it distributes the weight a little more evenly across your body. Because your rifle's going to go this way, your pistol's over here. So look and watch Larry Vickers do some shit, because that's what he is. I'm pretty sure that's correct that it's Larry. He's left-handed but right-eye dominant. So he'll shoot left-handed with the carbine, but when he goes to his pistol, it's on the right side. You just gotta practice and just keep shooting. I don't know. I really don't know about that dominancy problem, because I'm not that way. I shoot right. I shoot the right way. I am going blind in this eye though. Like it's slowly creeping out, which is because I'm going blind in my left eye. I'm shooting pistol better than I ever shot pistol, but I'm having a hard time with the rifle because I'm just not focusing right.
It's just that, just that eye.
Yeah, it's just the fucking left eye.
Like going blind. You're diagnosed like you're
No. I'm
blind.
just saying I should be wearing glasses right now because of my right eye or my left eye.
Hi, kids. Do you like Primus? That's not what he said.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh.
My name is Eric, and I'm a Typhon Red Threadaholic. I was recently clean for 7 weeks until today when I bought a vehicle med bag.
I like the way you're talking.
I'm going to get clean again, but I'm planning for the inevitable relapse when I see a day pack come online. Right on, man. So
they're coming. We have some in the.
He wants a Typhon Red Thread one though. Send an email.
I think we do have one in the. I think I do have one in the bin.
Do we?
Yeah.
Send an email. We'll find it. Question and comment: is Skully's love of shenanigans the reason he gets big smile whenever Marcinko comes up?
Tricky, because I always want to call him Tricky Dick Marcinko.
His book, Red Team, should be read by all, gives tons of perspective into the backroom buddy world of spies in the State Department. The info about parties where the SEALs are ranked up grunts are banging the diplomats' wives was good stuff. Anyways, it truly helped me understand what was happening to Trump. The world's spies are often acquaintances of each other. They view the spy stuff like a big game and rarely held accountable for heinous manipulation of the people of the West. But I have some faith that is changing. Don't jail them for waterboarding terrorist slime. Trial and execute those who stayed silent and facilitated entry into the jihadists into our nation so citizens can be terrorized and propagandized into surrendering the freedoms the powerful find so inconvenient to their tyrannical goals. Okay.
I've actually, had an opportunity to share some drinks with Marcinko. But one of a really good friend of mine, Billy Stojak, was Marcinko's handler for a while.
He was one of the dudes in the
book. He's an original. He's actually Billy Stojak. He would correct me all the time. When I would say SEAL, he was a UDT guy, meaning fuck you SEALs. I was doing this shit before you guys were even, it's that whole who's cooler, the UDT guy or the Navy SEAL. But the UDT guys all got absorbed into the SEALs, and Tricky Dick Marcinko, that's who he would have been using is former UDT guys that basically created the doctrine that would become the SEALs that we know today. And so I had an opportunity to hang out with Marcinko a couple of times. He used to come to the Strider booth, and we had a couple of model knives that we would sell that had his name on it. And really great guys. I mean,
Harry Humphreys, Denny Chalker.
Yeah.
We've met
just great guys. I mean, they were very humble and good guys to know. Fuck Billy. There wasn't anything you could ask Billy. There wasn't anything you could ask Billy that he didn't have a finger in, which I thought was awesome. And then the other thing that was awesome was when I went to Billy's funeral, and there were so many. We tend to get in our lanes and we hang out with people we hang out with people we're comfortable with because they're kind of like us. But there were so many different walks of life of people in that room for his funeral. I just can't imagine how many people that he's that he affected over his lifetime. That just there was literally real fucking gangbangers. There was real dudes. Like, I didn't even want to stand next to him because I thought I would get some of it on me. They were real dudes in there, standing right next to the fucking sheriff's department guy, standing next to the fire department guy, standing next to the drag queen, standing next to the heavy metal dude. I was like, I don't know how he did it, because he was, he was straight. I guess it was just because he was straightforward and he told you how it was, and he was a great guy. So, I mean, all those guys are fucking awesome, but I don't know where I was going with that, except Billy Stojak is a fucking awesome individual.
Go to Marcinko.
And Marcinko is probably, Marcinko's probably okay.
That's how you got on it.
I mean, Marcinko's probably okay. He's probably okay guy. I'm just kidding, Billy.
2 questions, John. Who won the Eminem Machine Gun Kelly beef? Skully. John, will a Keltec KS7 fit in an SOE clothes bag? What's the K? What is that? KS7? It's the same length as a KSG. The KSG will fit in there, one in a closed bag. That little fucking.
Oh yeah,
shotgun.
KSG will fit in there, no problem. KSG, yeah, it'll fit in a closed bag, no problem.
Oh, here it is. It's essentially the same, except it's single tube and holds 7 rounds instead of the dual tube that holds 14 plus 1. As far as who won the rap battle, I don't fucking know. Is it over with? I think it was all staged. It put them both fucking on the map for about 30 days. I wish it'd keep going. Somebody needs to exchange some bullets, and then they'll come out with some better music. But motherfuckers ain't getting shot up in the rap game no more, so people ain't really
50
rapping.
Cent?
Yeah.
Does 50 Cent?
He's done a lot of shit, man.
No, but I mean, does 50 Cent still is he still putting out music, or
Yes.
is he just
Yes.
buying people who put out
he's
music?
fucking putting. That's his thing, content. So he would do these big records. He'd do these big albums. There's a lot of video of him talking about this, and then they would kind of just sit on it and hold it. So he's like, "Fuck you guys, I'll just put it out." So his thing is content, constant content. It doesn't matter what you're saying, and it doesn't matter what they're saying about you, as long as you're fucking saying it and they're fucking talking about you. And it works, man. It fucking comes up all the time in the feeds, and the music, like a lot of it's remakes or just collaborations and shit. But there is a fucking ton of content out there.
50 Cent did this. I don't know what you call it, like
The 50th Rule. He's done a bunch of books.
But he did like this joke video. He did this joke video where he had these moms bring their sons in and sit them down in the living room, and they would be like, "Son, you know, I me and your dad, we're just not doing very well, and it's over between us, and I met a new man." And they put out this whole song and dance about this dude, and she's like, "I just want you to meet him." And 50 Cent would come out in a bathrobe. He would come out in a bathrobe, and you know that white families, black families. I think the Japanese. He was either Japanese or Korean. He was the best one, but. And just to see the reaction on the kid's face when 50 Cent comes out is fucking priceless. Like that, I think the one I saw, I think he was Korean. That kid like instantly knew it was 50 Cent and was like jumping up and down. He's like, "Are you serious?" He was just going nuts, man. But it's pretty interesting, pretty funny.
EDC Decker, Squirt Gun Kelly, ain't got shit on Eminem. He's just a beast. I don't know, fucking. They were both pretty good. Kelly's shit fucking flowed a little better. I mean, the first time I listened to the album when it came out from Eminem, I was like, Kelly killed it. But I mean, once you listen to it 2 or 3 times, it's in there. I mean, when his first stuff came out, when his very first shit was on the radio, John Nelson was working for me. Like, I hated that shit. Fucking couldn't stand any of that Eminem shit. But as you listen to it a couple times, it's there for sure.
I still can't stand it.
Skully, I'm looking to get my son a good pocket knife folder after he graduates the police academy. What should I get him? Brand and model. Thanks, from North Carolina. Well, the answer's going to be like, we heard son. I'm thinking fucking 8, 10-year-old. The police academy, fucking somebody that age, that's a very different answer.
Get a SNG. That's your model number.
Strider.
Well, Strider, SNG, CC, Spear Point.
Why Spear Point?
Just because that's the most common. It's just that is actually Spear Point is the most common blade and the most useful blade versus a Tonto. A Tonto is a very military orientated blade. Like nobody outside of the Japanese, nobody was using Tonto blades. So like you could go anywhere in the world and you could be like, make me a knife. No one is going to do a Tonto blade unless you're in Asia somewhere. Then they will draw a fucking Tonto blade just because of that idea of the blade in a military
stabbing through heavier shit.
Cutting somebody in half type program, where everybody else it's more utility, and so you're gonna get that regular
Tonto knife's not gonna core an apple real well.
Yeah, you'll get that regular profile.
Rob and Brittany says, get him a Strider. They're top of the line. Skully used to work for the company, and both him and John are good friends with the owners. Yeah, I mean, we've got Striders on right now. Fucking, we have fucking $500,000 probably in Striders. I mean, like no shit, probably.
Too many.
Vin Wiki is awesome. The stories and inside info is great. Yeah, watch some of the YouTube videos, man. Timmy, did you get butt implants? What are your thoughts on Jussie Smollett's charges being dropped and case sealed? I guess we did that one.
Yeah, we talked about that yesterday.
Yeah,
It's a he's a rat, man. He's a rat. Or there's some people in high places saying that President Obama made a phone call.
Why would he do that?
Because there's also a bunch of pictures of Jussie Smollett inside that circle with President Obama and his wife.
His penis wife?
Yes.
Washington, Reuters, the U.S. Supreme Court on Thursday rejected a request by gun rights activists to put on hold the Trump administration's ban on bump stock attachments that allow semi-automatic weapons to be fired rapidly, a rare recent instance of gun control at the federal level. So much for that, huh, fellas?
I mean, I appreciate what you're trying to say. This is going to end up going into the Supreme Court. No one's been arrested with a bump stock yet. It'll end up going to the Supreme Court. We'll see what happens then. I appreciate it, but man, I know you're going to be like, "Oh, it's a slippery slope. It's a slippery slope there, isn't it?" I don't need to run to the ramparts for a fucking bump stock. All right, you right there. You know that the bump stock was a fucking reach around. That's all it was. It was, hey, how can we fucking make a machine gun by the law? That's all it was. So it was just a reach around. I don't care that they ban bump stocks. I'm sorry. I know everybody's like, oh, it's a slippery slope. When they come for when they do, when they'll get to a point where they're going to try and ban something that I'm going to get involved with. But I'm not going to fucking Capitol Hill and argue about the fucking bump stock when every single one of you who are talking about the bump stock 6 months ago or 2 years ago were going, that thing's a piece of shit. I wouldn't pay $300 for it. I mean, that's the truth. You know that's the truth. It's a novelty. It's a fucking wind-up toy. It's not something that I even care that they're doing this. I don't care that they're even doing it, really. I know. It's a slippery slope and they're going after your Second Amendment. I get it. I feel you, but it's a novelty. This is going to end up in the courts again. It has to, because no one has turned them in. And because no one has turned them in, somebody is eventually going to get arrested for it. And then it's going to go to the court. And we'll see what happens.
Is that person going to sit in jail while arrested or bail out on bail for 5 years?
Well, if they do like California did, you hope that it's an upright citizen, and then he gets arrested, and then he gets bailed out. So they had this very similar situation happen in California with the bullet button. The California Department of Justice did not recognize the bullet button as legit. Even though, California was saying the bullet button is not legit. But DOJ actually said, well, yeah, it's kind of legit. So that's how everybody started importing these guns as bullet button. Well, Los Angeles County said, fuck you, we don't recognize the bullet button. The bullet button's some bullshit. You can't have a fucking AR-15. I don't care what kind of bullet button you have. So I believe that God, I can't think of the name of it's the California Firearms. Shit, I can't think of the name of it. It's a bunch of lawyers that do two-way stuff in California. I honestly believe they set this up, but maybe not. A dude with a total clean background, no parking tickets, no nothing, total legit. Goes into Los Angeles County, gets rolled up. Officer has the weapon stored exactly the way the law reads. Officer sees that it's an AR-15, arrests him, confiscates the gun. It's like, that's AR-15, it's an assault weapon, you can't have it. He's like, it's got a bullet button, that makes it legal. They're like, nope. Goes to jail, gets booked, out on bail. Or out until court date or whatever. Goes to court in California, so they have to hear the case. They hear the case, and the judge is like, it meets the law. It's good to go. You're free to go. Here's your fucking AR-15. And that made, what that happened was because case precedent was set. Mm-hmm. That made the bullet button legit. That was the thing that made the bullet button legit in California. So they had to rewrite the law.
Did he file a lawsuit and get some compensation, or
I don't know if he did or not.
What exactly is the bullet button?
Okay, so the bullet button is it's pretty ingenious. Basically, what it does is it makes it so you cannot drop the magazine on an AR-15 without totally modifying the AR-15. So with a different spring, it has a different spring and a different magazine release button. Okay, that's longer.
So is the receiver different?
Receiver's exactly the same.
So these are just like shave that off, and now you have to push it in with a screwdriver.
These are just swap parts. So
when you leave California, you can take your bullet.
You can take that motherfucker right off, and they had
normal.
They actually made an adapter. So basically, what happened was the pin goes all the way through the receiver, and you have the magazine release on the other end. You remember that, right? Yeah. You push the magazine release, it pushes that whole lever, that whole mechanism, and then the magazine falls out. Well, the bullet button would not allow you to push the magazine release. So you hit the magazine release, nothing would happen.
So it's still there.
It's still there.
Okay.
In the center of the magazine release, so you know how the magazine release had the little hole in the middle? Mm-hmm. In the center, if you push the center with a bullet, if you took the tip of a bullet and you push the center, it would release the magazine. Okay. So they made an adapter that screwed in on top of that. So it was a little red adapter. So if let's say you live in California, you got your bullet button on there, and then you're like, oh, I'm going to go to Las Vegas. You just screw that adapter on the end of it, and the magazine release would work just like a regular magazine release.
So when dudes were out shooting in the desert, they just screw that thing on
there. They just screw that thing on there. And so Darren, the guy who invented this thing, that piece is bright red because the idea is don't forget you have that piece on there, because when you get back to California, if you got that piece on there, it's illegal. So that's kind of that's my take on the bump stock guys. I know some of you crazy motherfuckers are going to be like, oh my god, the bump stock. Whatever, I don't care about the bump stock.
Benchmark signing gifts. Hey, what's up, man? I'm glad I found these podcasts. I listen to these in my headphones all day now. You guys and Joe Rogan are about the only thing I listen to. Hey, check out Benchmark signing gifts. They're on Instagram. They're on Facebook. I've got some combat cock plaques upstairs that they made for me. We actually need to do something. I'll get with you. I need to do something. Have you guys make some stuff for resale. The other thing I thought about you guys with architectural, structural stuff, architectural salvage shit, columns, plaques, right? These big fucking wooden carved plaques that have fucking lions and gargoyles and shit on them. They're really expensive, and they were hand carved, and it's amazing that you can look at two of them side by side, and they literally look like they were made on a machine, but they were made, fucking 100 years ago. I don't know what kind of depth your machine has and how capable it is, but could you, like a lion's mouth, for instance, that motherfucker's carved up in there and shit, and it all looks to be one piece. Will your machines do that? Could we take, how much depth can the machine do, and can you carve up inside and actually make a lion's head and shit? I don't know if that's even out of the realm of possibility, but I was curious about having some stuff like that. I've got some stuff I want, but I want two of them. Could you duplicate it? Could we 3D image it, program the coordinates in, and have the machine shit out a duplicate? Is what I'm curious about. But if you're listening to this, check those guys out. Fucking hardworking dudes. I've watched them over the last few years. They've done really well, and they fucking have earned everything they have for sure. John, could you post a link to the comments when you talk about the videos you have watched about Agenda 21? Yeah, Jake, just go on YouTube and put in Agenda 21. A ton of it will come up. Watch the long ones. Anything with David Icke or Ike, I-K-E, start there. There's a ton of it out there. All you gotta do is find one, and all the others will come up. And while you're watching that, watch a video called Poisoning Our Water. It's about fluoride and how that ties into a lot of other things too. When you find any one of those videos, you will find months worth of more material just from your recommendations. Ken Schmidt, John Skully, great podcast like always. At the end of episode 67, Skully talked about we could win the wars in 6 months. I agree. We could, but we won't. We haven't won a war since World War II, except maybe Grenada, maybe. We don't declare war even. I believe when we dropped nukes on Japan, the American ruling class lost its balls to win a war, I believe. Civilian leadership needs to give it to the military and let them kill the enemy into submission. It's bloody and ugly, but it's how you win. You can't change hearts and minds by being nice. Have we had any problems with the Axis since the end of World War II?
Something you might want to look into, just do a little research. What you need to understand is prior to World War II, we had gone through 2 really big depressions prior to World War II. And the ruling class, or the richy rich, were a lot different prior to World War II. Okay, so you have to remember that not too far in the distant past, prior to World War II, the U.S. Army was still fucking riding horses. The big tycoons prior to World War II were fucking people who owned railroads. Think about how the United States was set up prior to World War II. What happened in World War II that made everything different was not the atomic bomb. It was the fact that we turned this country into an industrial power based off of military production. So we were fucking churning out B-24s every 20 fucking minutes. We were building ships, real fucking ships, in 24 hours. Just boom, off they went. Boom, off they went. They were building B-29s exactly like we build Nissans now. I mean, that quick. Planes were coming out every fucking second. There was a fucking plane coming out. We created a new type of wealth class, because when you think about like military industrial, you're talking about Boeing, people like that, Raytheon. All that stuff is from the end of World War II. Okay, now here's the thing about war. 4 years is good. We made a lot of fucking people rich. We made a lot of people rich in the United States over 4 years of war. But if you can drag it out a little bit longer, if you can make it longer, rich people can stay rich, because we're going to keep making this technology. And that's basically what happened. Your Congress has not declared war since World War II. The reason why is because they want to put it on the president. It becomes the president's fault. When people talk about the Gulf War, when people talk about the Iraq War, what do they talk about? They talk about the presidents. They don't talk about the Congress. It's the president's war. It's just like all these people are talking about right now that, there's a bunch of people saying that Trump doesn't want Afghanistan. He doesn't want the Afghan-Iraq war. He wants his own war. He wants to go into Venezuela. Or he wants to go into Iran.
Is he making moves to do either of those?
Apparently. I mean, I'm just saying, we're putting it on the president when the actual act of war...
Well, let's go fuck up Venezuela. That shouldn't be hard.
No. Is Congress's job. We should not send fucking advisors. We should not send fucking guns. We shouldn't send a goddamn thing anywhere in the world unless Congress declares war. That's it, period. Congress should have to declare war. They should have to get some fucking skin in the game, since those guys are the ones that are raking in all the fucking money. They should have to put some skin in the game and say, hey, we're going to declare war on Iraq. But they're not going to do it.
Oh, you want to go? You should go too.
They're not going to do that. You know why? Because then they'd have to have skin in the game, and then their reputations. It's kind of like, when people blame the Republicans for cocaine in South Central Los Angeles. Hey, man. The Democrats knew it was there too, because they were making money off of it. They're all the same. That is why we don't win wars anymore, is because it's too profitable. It's not profitable. It's not profitable for people to just go in. Like, if we realistically, there was no army in Afghanistan. None. If the U.S. if we put the vast resources that we have and the goddamn money that we've spent into annihilating ISIS in Afghanistan, it wouldn't even have took fucking 6 months. It really wouldn't have took 6 months. Iraq? I don't know. I'm going to say 6 months with Iraq too, just because, you got to kind of like shake hands and build a school or two before you pull out. But yeah, it's all has to do with how much money you can make. Think about Huey helicopters, man. How much money did they make? I know of one operation alone in 1975 where they lost 475 Huey helicopters. We bought all new ones, right? Bell Helicopter got a new order for more fucking helicopters. We made people fucking Richie rich.
And that's all that was about. All those numbers were the helicopters. It wasn't how many dudes fucking died on those helicopters.
We make people Richie rich. That's why we've been in Afghanistan for all this time. That's why we've been in Iraq for all this time. Because people are making money. You want to stop wars that last 15 years? Pass a law.
Just pass term limits.
Well, pass a law. You want to stop wars that last 15 years? Pass a law that says if U.S. troops are anywhere in the world for more than 90 days, you have to start drafting people. That'll end all that shit. Because once those fucking yuppie college kids who are doing fucking female studies find out that they could be drafted into the military to go fight in fucking Afghanistan, they're going to be up there at Washington, D.C. burning their fucking draft cards like you couldn't believe. It's the reason why the top brass in the military do not want a draft period. And that's why only 1% of the population has ever even been to Afghanistan or Iraq. But anyways, you're completely right. We don't have the... It's not the balls. You should be asking yourself, who has the balls this big to every year come out to the American public and go, we're going to spend another $150 billion fighting these motherfuckers that are in flip-flops. That's right. We can't seem to beat these motherfuckers in flip-flops, but we're going to spend more money on it. Those are the dudes with the big balls.
I like it.
Flip-flops. Fucking flip-flops.
On reloading, Skully is 95% correct.
Oh, 95.
But where he says precision, one might say specialized interest. I know a bunch of competition shooters who load ammo down to meet minimum power requirements for USPSA and that kind of stuff. And bulk rifle ammo that is accurate enough to do exactly what is required and no more. That said, ammo is so cheap now, and close enough specialized factory loads are available, so it's not worth it for me to use 2 time to reload, even though I have the equipment. The guys that need bulk specialized ammo loads because they have no other alternative.
Well, I don't want to get too deep in the woods on reloading, but when you're talking about reloading for precision, you can buy a factory ammunition off the shelf like, Hornady 175s or fucking Winchester 175s.
Pull them and weigh your grains.
Yeah, you're not going to find. I take it back. You're going to find precision rifle ammunition that's made in the factory that will shoot well in your rifle. But if you're looking for better, you can do hand loads that will shoot better than those factory loads, because remember, those factory loads are based off specific conditions in a specific barrel. Your barrel is going to shoot different, no matter what the manufacturers say. I can get 10, I can get 10 Winchester Police Special Rifles and put them on the line and chronograph them. They're all going to chronograph different with different ammunition, which means if you do precision loads for those rifles, you will get more out of those rifles than if you were shooting factory ammunition.
So you're saying you have 10 identical rifles?
10 identical rifles.
10 identical out-of-the-box ammo.
10 identical.
And they're all going to shoot it different.
They're all going to shoot something a little bit different, because the real issue is the imperfections that are inside the barrels, and those imperfections inside the barrels affect your velocities downrange and how that fucking weapon system is going to work.
Okay, we gotta cut this off.
Okay, we gotta cut this off.
We'll finish this tomorrow, but I gotta do this last.
Oh,
one.
do this last
Andrew Campbell.
Andrew,
love the podcast, guys.
He loves it.
Do either of you know anything about?
Okay, here we go.
The cornbread mafia. I'm picturing Amish. What the fuck is the cornbread?
Has to be
It's
Amish.
not. It's not gonna be. I don't even know.
It has to be. I'm thinking.
I'm picturing dudes running around hitting each other with fucking cast iron skillets.
It has to be.
I'm picturing Dutch oven. Fucking. I have not a fucking clue. What?
It
Tell
has to
us.
be
What is
Amish. It has to be Amish, or this could have something to do
But I sucked his dick.
with a group of girls. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Can't be.
Could be. She could be the leader of a cornbread revolution.
She is Amish.
She is. Oh, yeah, shit, I forgot about that. Yeah, huh. So, I don't know.
Hold on, I'll Google it.
Cornbread Mafia. Somebody sent me a video. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but...
Cornbread Mafia.
Cornbread Mafia.
It's
it's a real dude. Look at that.
Cornbread Mafia was a group who created the largest domestic marijuana production operation in the United States. It's based in Marion, McCreary, Nelson, and Washington counties in central Kentucky. They first became known to the public June 1989 when federal prosecutors revealed that 20 men were arrested in organic marijuana trafficking and stretched across the United States. Okay, my question is, let me guess, they're in jail. So if we legalize all this, are we going to release them? Of course they're fucking not going to release them. If their crime becomes no longer a crime, of course they're not going to let them out.
They still have to pay the penalty for the crime that they committed during the time they were in.
Stupid.
I know. It's dumb that it's dumb that anybody. Well, I don't want to say that anybody's in jail for marijuana, because there are some people that are in jail for marijuana that did some really heinous shit.
Yeah, but there was other crimes.
To sell. Yeah, the other crimes to sell marijuana, but the reality of any type of plant, even cocaine, really. What the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, our CIA fucking sells tons of it.
Who are you? Who are we? Or who is the king, the emperor, the all-knowing people that say that a fucking adult can't consent to smoking a joint or doing fucking heroin? As long as it doesn't. This is my thing. As long as it does not tax or affect me, I don't care what you do. Problem with the war on drugs is the war on drugs is actually taxing me. It's fucking taxing me.
Well, the war on drugs is not about stopping drugs.
No, I know, but my tax money is going to the war on drugs. So, fucking who cares? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if the question is, will it get better? Tomorrow, if we came out and said all drugs are legal, fuck it. Everybody seems to think that the cartel would disappear.
Mm-mm.
But the cartel is actually getting very deep into California marijuana grows because there's money in it. It's just, it's kind of like saying, we busted up the mafia in the 60s. The federal government actually busted up most of the real crime families.
They just took it over.
But you still can't get a yard of concrete in New York City that the mafia does not get money for. And the city fucking knows it.
Teamsters.
Yeah, you can't get, the mafia's getting money for every yard of concrete that goes into fucking New York City.
It's more organized. It's a higher organizational level of organized crime.
I just saw a thing the other day. They were talking about, they were like, well, how is the mob getting money for concrete? And the guy was explaining how that, because it's the Teamsters and the unions. Here's the thing about concrete. Because New York City is so big, they have to go so far to get the concrete. So by the time the concrete enters that truck, they have a finite amount of time. Very finite amount of time where that truck has to get to its destination and dump that concrete, or they have a fucking tomb inside that concrete truck. And he was just talking about how if the skids don't get greased, if you're a contractor and you go, fuck you, I'm not paying your tax.
Your transportation road use tax.
Then the dude on the road that's clearing those trucks to go gets a phone call, and he just holds that truck. And every fucking minute that truck is sitting there, that concrete is getting harder and harder and harder. So,
all right, guys, we'll do this later. We'll finish up.
Out. What? Okay, turn that on.